Not only
more about gel coat.
When the fourth round would...
Don't you call in the...
We should have fucking did this intro before we smoked.
Griot is the oral form of telling stories. That's how all our history was told before. That's why a lot of our stuff was lost, because it wasn't written. We told it orally.
Welcome to High Griot. It's Auntie Bibi, the petite goddess, and I am here with
Wizdum The LionHearted. I'm really rocking right now, but y'all can't see.
I'm so getting ready to say, why are you doing all of this intro? You look like a video game character when you get ready to pick him.
On
you
Fortnite?
Pick him and then he get ready to
yeah, it's on Fortnite and shit. Because he getting his energy ready.
Yeah.
I'm getting his...
Pick me.
Right.
Okay, so today we are talking about, or I guess more so, I kind of really just want you to tell me about Black Wall Street and the Tulsa riots. Like, start all the way at the beginning with whomever you want to start with.
Okay, we're gonna do. So when you came in and told me you wanted to talk about it, I thought I knew about it.
But you didn't know.
But I didn't know. Like, on that old, it's deep. It's multi-layered. It got some stuff that's going on with it. And it got some people that's real. Got some people. They got some real life heroes.
Yeah. Okay.
Some real life Black heroes.
Start
that
in the
you
beginning.
Don't. Okay. And we'll talk about. I'm gonna talk about a guy that when I looked him up, he got my interest. His name was J.B. Stratford with a D.
Stratford.
Yeah, J.B. Stratford.
Okay.
STRAD FORD. If you want to look him up, you know what I'm saying? Like I did. He was the richest Black man in the town of Greenwood, Tulsa, Oklahoma, where this has happened at. So it was basically
during what? Give me the time.
Period. Yeah, I was finna go. Yeah, it was so Greenwood, a town in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in 1921, and the Jim Crow era of the South was pretty much
at a height.
White. It was the height of it, and it was pretty much whites only. So the Black people could only work in the white area of the town, and that's it. They couldn't eat there. They couldn't shop there, sleep there, live there, nothing else. Play there, stand there.
Shitty.
They could just go there to work and get their Black ass out of there.
Yeah.
And
as fast as possible.
So that created a vacuum of businesses, because Black people had money. They was working.
Right.
They needed a place to spend their money, and JB got together with the guy named OG. OW. I can't call him OG. I want to call him. I call him OG because him and JJ they OGs of this.
Yeah, but he is OG. It's OW
Girly, right?
So, yeah.
So OG. He got up with OG Girl. You know what I'm saying? OW Girly. And they got the idea to, you know what I'm saying, to pool their resources.
Yeah.
So it started off with one grocery store on the corner, and with one person, and then they all just pooled their resources, and so he bought a bunch of land, and I need to do some more research, but I'm assuming he probably got it in the Oklahoma land grab. Yeah. If y'all don't know what that is, that's a whole other thing. Yeah. Where they just gave a lot of free land away. It was really Indians' territories first, and then they kicked them out, say y'all gotta go, blah blah blah, and
they sold it. And they sold it. Negroes especially.
Which is another funny thing I learned, which is another branch thing that if you do research is kind of crazy. A lot of those Indians in those territories sided with the Confederacy in the Civil War, and as a punishment for that, they split the territories up.
Yeah.
And so they gave the Oklahoma territories was supposed to be Indian territory. They split that territory up and split and gave Oklahoma territories, and then it was the Indian territory. So the Oklahoma territories had the Oklahoma land grab. That's why they gave millions of acres of land away to people in a race.
Right.
In 24 hours, they gave over 200 and some acre land away.
Right.
And a lot of it was Black people.
Right.
And In Oklahoma alone, this was the early 1900s, so 1907, they had like 27 black towns.
Right.
In Oklahoma. Period.
Yeah.
It all around, just
it was
doing
like a
stuff.
mecca
Yeah,
for
yeah, because it
black
was
people
booming
in
because they
Atlanta.
found oil. They found oil out there. Although a lot of the white people controlled the oil, the booming oil economy trickled down to the black people too, because the white people got money, so they started needing people to work for them, do other little stuff. The black people started getting the money. They needed a place to spend it. They couldn't spend it in white areas, so this is where we get Black Wall Street from. They start opening businesses, everything that you would need. So that means we had schools, we had churches, barbershops, anything essential for a community to function, which is big threes is grocery stores. You need grocery stores, you need banks, and you need schools.
Mm-hmm.
And we had those big three to feed for our community.
Mm-hmm.
And JB, he had a hotel. He had the big hotels. He had a 54-room hotel, and it was for black guests.
Mm-hmm.
And they rivaled it to the best hotels in Oklahoma for white people too. It was up in that standard. All brick out layered. But that time, you know what I'm saying, it was all the wood buildings, so it was all brick layered. Had a pool hall in there, had a dining room in there, and like a smoking room in there in the hotel. In addition to that, he had 15 rental houses. So that's probably for like people who come in there working, they just need rental houses. And he had an apartment building.
Mm-hmm.
So he was breaking in land.
Right.
On top of that he was only selling to black people.
Right.
For them to get homes
Mm.
and start. So imagine being a white person in that time, and you a hateful white person in that time. Not gonna just say a white person, because all white people wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Being a hateful white person in that time, you poor, and you feel like you better than this black person, but this nigga got a house and you don't.
Ugh.
These uppity niggas got businesses and I'm barely struggling to eat. But you feel like whole time you better than them. So this can't be. Simply because of the fact of your skin. Mm-hmm. That you better than these people. Not the fact that they discounted that they got up and did the work.
Right.
It did what it was necessary to get it. Fuck that. They shouldn't have it because you ain't got it.
Exactly.
And I deserve it just because I got pale skin.
Yeah.
So 35, what they say, 35 square block or
40 acres in the middle?
No, it was the square mileage of the area. It was like a 35 block
radius
of businesses and homes.
I think radius is applied to that. Radius is a circle.
Oh well, it was a large area, a big dumbass area full of black homes, black businesses, a black metropolis. Booker T. Washington came to visit the area, and he saw that it was a mecca of black businesses. It was booming, and he called it a Negro Wall Street. Mm-hmm. And that's where the term came, Black Wall Street. Because after Negro, we wanted to be known as black, so it's Black Wall Street. Right. So the whole thing it was just boom. It was just a thriving community of people just trying to mind their business. Now, JB, he was a man. I call him a black hero because he was, at that time, the KKK was real heavy in the South. At that time, it was in the time in the country in the 1921s, it was a lot of race riots going on. It was race riots in our city in Chicago. It was race riots in
they don't
Washington,
even like to
D.C.
talk about that one, yeah.
It was race riots all over the South through race, because black people and the Reconstruction, we actually was coming up.
Yeah, we was prospering.
We was the laborers. Yeah. We had the jobs. We had the skills. Yeah. We had the power. And they didn't want to stop them with white people, so we had our own businesses to
Right.
do stuff. And that was just a really big example of one. And even after that year, another one that got a movie made out with us
Rosewood, yes.
That happened a year after this. 1 year after the race riots. Also off of a lie. All this tension in the country. Black people getting in office. Black people, we want our respect.
And still, in the meantime, also lynch mobs.
We getting lynched, and it's JB.
We not standing for it no more.
JB, a millionaire in the city, full of black people, prospering. He like, hey, I'm a man, so I'm not nobody boy. He had an altercation with a white guy where this white guy came. He was walking on the street. White guy on the horse came by and said something crazy to him. He pulled the guy off the horse and beat him down.
I'm sorry, you said what?
He in the 1920s, this black man pulled this white man off the horse and beat his ass.
In Jim Crow, 1920s.
Not just punched him once.
In America.
Not just punched him once. The account said that he beat him repeatedly in his face. Until the man got up and said, "Oh yeah, you're gonna pay for this. You're gonna get lynched. It's gonna be a lynch. Promised him it was gonna be a lynching for what he did." All his black friends come like, "Man, we can get you out of town till this blow over." He refused. In the time of the KKK lynching people, he was like, "Nah, I'm not going nowhere. Let him come. Let him come."
Okay.
He wasn't for none of that. So how the whole thing started was to get to I'll just give you a little context. So how the whole thing started, well, the race riot, the Black Wall Street riot was. The Tulsa riots was. And actually, if you
did they actually kick off?
And actually, it was in 1921.
Okay.
And actually, if you, Alex Haley actually put that in one of his movies. And I really didn't realize it until.
Really?
Yeah, he got it in. It's in the later stories of when they got more modern after Roots. I don't know if you ever watched those.
Oh.
If you ever seen that scene, it was a big race riot. That was the Tulsa, Oklahoma riots.
Oh.
It started off. It was a war veteran.
Yeah.
With a gun, and that's how the whole actual riot started. But the situation was the guy, Dick Rowland, right?
Yes, Dick Rowland.
Dick Rowland. Okay, I wanted to get that name right. Dick Rowland. A 19-year-old black man got in the elevator with a 17-year-old white woman. It's a bunch of mixed stories. Don't nobody know exactly what happened. But some people, one of the custom stories is basically he got off the elevator, tripped, grabbed the white girl's arm. She screamed. And he dipped because she screamed. Because, you know, he young, is 19, shit like that happened. It's the South. Anything.
Right. I'm running.
Motherfucker.
A white lady screamed next to me today. I'm running.
Somebody down the hall, because he running, and old girl scream, assume that Buddy must have assaulted her.
Yeah.
And then they go to the police, and then by word of mouth, it starts spreading. The story started getting worse. He raped her. He did all this crazy stuff. And then by the end of the day, the next day, this newspaper ran by, you know, people who more, you know what I'm saying, KKK conservative, you know what I'm saying, more hate race newspaper ran the story about him, you know, raping her, nabbed her, raped the white girl. And so now white lynch mobs is down at the police station, demanding the police to get his man over. Like 1,500 to 1,000 white people. Get his man over, demanding to the police because they went and arrested him. So he was hiding in town. I guess the police went and found him and arrested him because he was scared he was going to get lynched. Whole time, JB and a couple war veterans, they like, nah, man, we got to go down there. That's not happening. I ain't finna lynch Buddy in our town. Right. No matter if he did that shit or not, it's not finna happen. Like, he finna justice. So it was about like 75 of them. They went down there once. 75 black people against 1,000 white people. Right. It was war veterans. They had their guns. They wasn't going. They went down the first time. Motherfuckers told them, you know what I'm saying, the police told them to go away. They came back again, like, look, man, we just trying to protect brother. Anybody trying to get lynched. Boom, boom. They told him to go away again. Boom, boom. So they was leaving again. Some white dude in the audience, white protester. He walked up to one of the black dudes, one of the black military veterans who had a gun. Like, man, what you got that gun for? And they like, cause I can. Like, I'm gonna use this bitch if I got to. Right. I'm speaking today's language, but that's basically how the conversation.
I'm gonna use that shit if I got to.
Like,
exactly.
What you got a gun? Like, boom, cause I'm gonna use this bitch if I got to. I'm gonna blow this bitch if y'all keep it. You boom, boom. Buddy try to take the gun from him. Some shit go down and go off. It explode. That's when the riot goes. They start rioting. They start going. They fuck them people up now. Some white people died too. Our brothers and sisters was not going. They was just outnumbered.
Yeah.
They was blowing them bitches. Yeah. White people died too. It happened.
They wasn't just
It wasn't just sitting out docile. Like,
yeah.
oh, why? Oh, woe is me.
Yeah.
They went there to protect their brother who didn't do nothing wrong.
Right.
And the white police chief, he wound up deputizing some of the white people that was in the audience in the riot. Deputizing them.
So now they police.
Now they got authority. So now they jealous, mad already. And now they got some kind of authority. Hopped up on lies. And white power, basically.
Right.
They go and start looting, killing, and burning down the black section of Tulsa, Oklahoma, Greenwood. About 16 hours into it, they call a martial law. And then they bring in the Oklahoma state troopers for martial law. And their response to protect the black people was to arrest 6,000 or 6 to 10,000 black people and put them in football fields and detain them and barns and churches and football fields to protect them, while the looters were still free to ransack their whole town. And it was reported that they used old World War I planes to drop firebombs on the city. And to add insult to injury, after the whole riot was over, they wake up to their whole town decimated. Homes burned, schools burned, churches burned, bodies dead, mothers gone, businesses gone, homeless, locked up for their own protection. I did the air quotes in case you couldn't hear. In case you couldn't hear that with my voice. If you couldn't hear the air quotes in my voice,
for their protection, that was like
I did the air quotes,
so you didn't know. End quote.
End quote. They couldn't even get released from their false imprisonment without being vouched for by a white person of the community, saying, "Hey, I'm responsible for his actions. He's a good basically.
Wow.
I got him. He's a good he's cool. Let him go." They just burnt our whole town, but he's a good let him go. And then on top of to add that insult to injury, the National Guard ordered every able-bodied black man to help clean up the mess that the white people just did.
Wow.
That nobody got arrested for. And they left.
Yeah. They just left once they was done ransacking this entire town.
And then after that, a grand jury, 2 people got indicted in this whole thing. The police chief, John Gustafson, and J.B. Stratton.
Wow.
For being the insider of the riot. And they filed for reparations. Never got it. The city never tried to help rebuild anything. They got a little strip rebuild, but it never returned to its former glory.
Of course not.
It was an unsung.
Now people are afraid their businesses. Then who gonna bring a business to that town after that just happened to my business? which basically just happened to my family, that I'm not bringing my, I'm not returning there.
Insurance companies deny claims. Like the mayor of the town said, even the mayor of the town it was on the record, said like, man, we need to do whatever we can up to the last cent to help these people rebuild what they lost. After that, the insurance company was denying claims. Nothing. Nah, we can't. Y'all ain't get nothing. Nah.
Wow.
And
then also these people involved in some of the riots was working in all these agencies. They were the insurance, the people that worked in insurance. They were the people that worked in the police department. They were the people who worked in all of these places that you would need in order to try to even rebuild.
Yeah. One unsung person or thing, kind of entity in this guy named Maurice Willows. He was the director of the Red Cross. Like, that situation was the first time they came in after the aftermath and seen 300 dead people. They had to perform over like 1,500 surgeries. God. The one nurse who worked for them said it looked like I just walked off a war. We saw people with amputated legs, burnt faces, cut off hands, stuff like that. Like, on America, the worst possible injury. She said I'll never forget this. She said this will be scarred in my head forever. He wrote back to Washington D.C. like, man, like, we got to do something about this. So that was the first time actually that was actually the time the Red Cross intervened in a situation that wasn't a natural disaster. Right. That it wasn't an earthquake, something like mudslide, something like that. Yeah. Like, that was the first time they intervened. Oh man, some fucked up shit just happened. So that's why, like, if you in Africa, if you see the Red Cross helping some people out between the Congos and all that stuff, they wasn't doing that before. Right. Before this situation. Right. And they stayed there for 7 months. They put like 40,000. They made the town get like 40,000 up to help, and they spent, like, the Red Cross organization spent like 100,000. And Buddy, he was trying to get more permanent housing set in place for the tents, for the Red Cross tents that they had, and it set up. He was trying to do a lot, like, to help and shit like that.
The thing that's the saddest out of this, I feel, is that they tried so hard after this. And everybody tried so hard after this, but the damage was already done, so much that the damage was done.
16 hours.
They completely destroyed our neighborhood. Not our neighborhood, but they completely destroyed. Ours. Like, they completely decimated it.
What had that place would have become? Yeah. Had it been left alone?
Yeah. Exactly. And that's why they couldn't leave it alone.
What might us, with that example,
might have done? Yeah, like,
had that been left alone.
And it happens.
And to make it more worse, what you said is, which beats more back into it, how come I didn't know about this until I was 30? Yeah. People in that area who grew up on that street, who went to schools in that area, I read a story doing research. This guy was a grad student. He had an argument with his college professor, was telling him about the story. He like, man, that ain't happened. It's my area. What you mean? I got grandparents. That ain't happened there. What are you talking about? I would have known about this. This ain't happened there. And he had to go to actually get the records. He had to go to the professor and pull up the records. And I'm like, yeah, this here. It happened. This happened. They don't, like, that example. That is everything that everybody is preaching right now.
That would have crumbled their whole, exactly. Everything that we're learning now, everything that we're trying to get back to now, that we're just starting to be like, okay, well, let's work together now.
70 years, 70 out. I'm bad at math. That's probably almost that's almost 100 years ago.
That's almost 100 years ago.
Because it's 2019.
That's
2019.
98 years ago. Wait,
yeah,
I'm bad at math.
Yeah.
2020. Yeah, 98 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that's generations. That's 2 generations. That's generations of people had millionaires in their own little area, thriving, everything that they needed.
And we can't let that happen.
Had food, had more folks, had businesses was so thriving, doing so good that they was serving white people too. Because they had the only stuff that was some of the only stuff that was needed in the town.
Right.
So the white people didn't have no choice but to go to.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers
It's the
had
same
food
thing.
so good, they was like, man, I don't like these niggas, but I'm gonna go eat this lunch platter because this shit fire.
Yeah, the same thing was happening in Rosewood.
Rosewood,
Sorry,
yeah,
Rosewood,
man. I saw that movie my mom took me to see that movie.
And you ain't get it.
No, I got it.
Oh.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I had to be like maybe 11, 10, 9. I was young.
Mm-hmm.
But I got it. I got it. I was
Yeah.
angry in that theater. I
I
tears
seen it
came down in
about
my
that
theater
time.
as a shorty. I was mad at them. I seen some white people in the theater. I was
Leaving out,
mad.
you was on dirt like.
I was on dummy.
Fuck you, boy.
And I grew up with Jehovah's
stupid
Witness.
ass.
I grew up with Jehovah's Witness. My mom grew up. So we went, man, I was on, man, like, pure like, man, them people for what?
Yeah.
A lie.
A lie.
And Dick Rowland, to bring it back to that, Dick Rowland got acquitted. He got let go. It wasn't even acquitted. He didn't go to court for that. The charges was dropped. He just got
Not at
arrested and
all.
questioned.
The charges
The
were
charges
dropped.
was dropped.
And all of this bullshit that ensued afterward, all of these people that have lost their lives, this whole community destroyed, the faith, this hope, all of that destroyed for you to get acquitted, for you to get the charges dropped, not
even
charges
acquitted.
dropped.
Like acquitted mean they had enough
Right.
evidence to take you to trial
Yeah,
and
not-
the judge,
not
some judges,
acquitted.
people. Then they be
There
like,
was
oh
no
no, it ain't.
trial.
Oh no, we just gonna, yeah, this ain't even worth
You
it.
let it go.
This ain't even worth it. My bad, bro. Here you go home.
Insane.
Oh, my bad. You ain't even got no home because we just burnt all y'all shit down.
Yeah.
My bad. Y'all wanna y'all gotta clean that shit up though too.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
cause
don't know.
y'all gotta, yeah, cause we can't have all this mess in the ground. So y'all gotta clean up that shit. Even though y'all ain't do that shit, y'all ain't do nothing wrong at all. So y'all just gotta clean that shit up.
And
And
just
then move
imagine
around,
that
and
too.
then
That,
don't even talk about it.
imagine the scarring in that of being a survivor there, because now you have to clean this up. A mess that you have to clean up your own community that somebody else has just destroyed.
And that's-
with the things that you love, the people that you love, the people that you saw every day, the businesses you went to every day, your local
We should have been on
coffee
Facebook
shop.
Live.
What happened?
I should have been on Facebook Live doing this.
Oh yeah,
This would have been dimes.
yeah.
This would have been big dimes. Dropping big jewels for people.
Gems, dropping
Damn it.
gems.
Damn it.
If only you would have known.
We got to do another one of these. But
Yeah.
back to what we were saying, my bad, as I took us off track. Shorty, that's exactly what a lot of the reason why that it wasn't talked about, because they was scarred. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't want to talk about that shit. Imagine having to relive that shit.
Again and again.
Having to
and
keep talking
again
about that
and
shit.
again.
Like, and it's two congressmen, black congressmen, every year bring a bill up in Congress to lift the statute of limitations on that riot so they can get reparations. But it's also wrapped up in another bill about reparations as a whole for black people. So the bill don't go nowhere.
Right.
But every year they submit that shit.
Yeah.
And that
And
shit
don't
knocked down.
stop. Any other black congressman that want to get up in there, look, at this point, y'all just got to be an annoyance. Like, just do it for long enough for them to just be like, all right, man, just,
Yeah,
you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
that is true. Yeah.
I mean, because I would like to have my reparations personally.
What would be reparations enough for you?
I mean, for me, that's a very interesting question. What would be reparations enough for me is, I don't feel like it's a numerical value, like as far as numbers. I feel like it's more, we should be able to get to kind of choose. Like, do you get these so-and-so amount of plots of land, or you get these so-and-so amount of businesses, or so-and-so amount of dollars to put into them businesses. Or you get, I feel like for me, reparations would be more, putting more into our community instead of taking from it. And giving back to us everything that you took away. And I'm not saying like, just everybody get a certain amount of money, because every black person would love to just go ahead and give us all the money. Like, yeah, just, you got $10 to add on to my check every week. Yeah, put it in there. But I also feel like that can be wasted away, and that doesn't really pay homage. It's not good enough for all the stuff that they have taken from us. So because it's not good enough, I need you to put back into our community. I need us to be able to flourish for a few hundred years in these Americas before we get a chance to lose this.
So you don't think it'd be like for reparations? You don't think just giving money away?
No, money ain't enough. Money is not enough to just give us for reparations. Because like I said, it's not going to sustain us long enough for everything that they took away already. We need to be able to put more into our community, and it's not going to work like you just giving us a few more dollars. It's not going to work. It's not going to work.
What about like grants, like some no fault grants or for business, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some
for businesses.
Grants and plots of land. Or I feel like there should be choices, or we should be able to get all that we want. But I feel like there should be like, maybe like a little box, nice little few box bubbles where you can check off. Okay, I think I want this plot of land and I want this amount of grants and I want maybe something like that.
Yeah, like if
that's just in a perfect world, right. It's not gonna happen.
I think something like that would like grants for businesses, like like whatever kind of business. I think like a no fault grant. You know what I'm saying? So like it don't have to like where if it's business don't just so happen to go under its business is due. You know what I'm saying?
Then you gotta put you back in there.
Yeah, then, you know what I'm saying? You ain't in the hole. You know what I'm saying? Like
something to be able to continue to propel us forward. Because again, you took so much away from us.
We're gonna knock out. This has been fun, man. Black Wall Street. Tell me how y'all feel about reparations, man. Talk to me.
You just said that like whispers in the dark. Tell me how y'all feel about reparations. Talk to me. Call in.
Call in. Call in. Now.